Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, one and all, to DK64 Randomizer.com. We got something special for you today. We have, wouldn't you have it, we got another Blitz Tournament. A new month, a new Blitz Tournament. We pile in as many people as we can into a qualifier, and the top 16 of this qualifier will survive. In our race room today, we have, 21 entrants, combined with 6 asyncs, I believe. Wild times. Only the top 16 will get in, so you gotta do pretty well to get in. That's pretty good odds, I'd say. We'll see how it goes. I am LaRock, I will be in the mic for you today, and I am joined by Mr. Rippy. How you doing?
Morning all. Happy to be here.
Alright, well, we gotta get to the board right away because it's bingo, so let's take a look. This is quite the board we got going here. So the way bingo works in rando is that you start with a number of random moves. One random move, along with diving and vines. The rest will be hinted. They use the item hinting hint system, which is a little bit different. We'll kind of run into it as we go, as we discover more about our seed. They will use those pretty powerful hints to pick up items and kind of target rows. The first to finish 2 rows, or rather, you are done when you finish 2 rows of checks. Rows, columns, or diagonals. Yeah, it's a bingo card, yeah? B-I-N-G-O. Amen. Not all goals are created equal. Obviously, something as tedious as 6 crowns or 80 GBs is not going to be quite as hard as, say, 4's DK medal. I believe the bingo settings are largely based on Season 3 with a couple extra caveats in there of, whatchamacallits. We have 45 CB medal requirements. All keys are vanilla, so the keys are on the bosses, which means any key goal. So having 4 keys means beat 3 more bosses, because everybody starts with key 8. Very nice to have that.
So looking at this, what are the options that immediately jump out as terrible and something that's immediately worth pursuing?
80 GBs is very scary. That's a big number. And 6 crowns is also terrifying. Again, there's only 10 crowns in the game. Finding all those is very random. Like, you'd be hard pressed to have anyone commit to that early. That's a really big gamble.
There's also no such thing as crown casinos, though, so who knows what we'll find.
It's very true, as Mike is very fond of saying. On our stream today, I forgot to mention our runners. Holy smokes. We've got MikeChamp, quite an experienced bingo gamer, as well as the one and only KeiperDontCare.
I suspect he's about to care very deeply as the seed progresses.
Yeah. may very well care about qualifying for a tournament. It's pretty nice.
Looking at our starting moves as well, it's worth pointing out that we are starting with Baboon Blast, Diving, and Vines. These are fantastic moves to start with. A whole bunch of the game is going to be open immediately. If we go into Aztec, we're going to have access to Llama Temple, assuming you have to have a gun. But the hard part to get into Llama Temple is going to be taken care of. As soon as you get Key 2, we're going to be able to go into World 4, that's a different setting, but everything that is locked by moves early on, or at least our training moves, is almost immediately available to us. The only thing that we're really missing is barrels, which, considering that there are going to be a bunch of boss checks that we're going to be doing, it's definitely going to be something that our runners have to keep in mind.
Maybe we're doing bosses. That's hard to say. 4 keys is not that complicated. TNSs are zeroed out, so you can just walk in and fight the boss. But you need barrels. You need the moves to beat it, so you need barrels for most of them. You may need Hunky Chunky. You may want Twirl. You might just do a Twirless because you're crazy. We'll see. It appears the race room is ready, though, so we're going to see what people start deciding. Bingo is completely open. Which is to say that beat lockers cost nothing. All lobbies are open. You can just run into whatever level you want. We don't know the level order. They'll probably discover it pretty quickly, because you can just run around. They'll get a lot of information really quickly. The item hinting hints are very strong. They give you very direct hints towards specific moves. It doesn't tell you how easy it is to get those moves. So Peanuts might be just go get one item, very simple goal, but maybe your Peanuts isn't a horrendous check. I don't know, put it on Donkey Minecart, just something awful out of absolutely nowhere, but we are off. Let's see where we're headed today. Maybe we get a little bit of level order action? Oh. You can take the man out of the Season 2 start, but you can't take the Season 2 start out of the man. They run straight to the prison.
It's just a classic, and even if you play alternate settings, it's almost, other than S3, it's immediately the correct thing to do. So we have our first batch of hints coming up, as soon as our players pause to look at it.
They dare to pause, if they would, so kindly. Or dare they? What is our level 2? Our level 2 is Castle. Sure. They know that the B-lockers cost nothing, so they don't even need to look at them. It's just... Castle's level 2. If I need to go to Castle for whatever reason, I run to level 2. Simple as that. What about our level 6 and perhaps our Caves Lobby Dirt?
He misses the jump.
We'll settle for the
maybe
dirt.
Not. Hey, look, it's a crown. Who said that they were casinos? Starting strong with the memes, everybody. Starting strong.
5 to go if you want 6 crowns. That's a tough sell, but we'll see how it pans out. Early stages in a bingo seed, a lot of the time you want to prioritize finding your Kongs, because if you have more Kongs, you have more options available. Naturally, you get more stuff, you can get more checks. Just generally better. You're a level 5 Galleon. Okay. And Galleon Lobby has this Kasplat here that's a really fast check too, so this is a nice find from Keiper. A little bit random. I don't think he's looked at any other lobby, but we'll take a GB.
Hard to complain about that.
With a Vine start, you have a lot of stuff to do in the training grounds with Shockwave. Pretty nice. I would implore that Keiper does not ignore that dirt patch he's on top of. There we go. He didn't hit it when he ran in, and I was a little scared, but seems like things worked out. I think that's like our second fairy we've seen, but...
Well, there's the Pearl. That's going to be basically a free bingo space now that we have... well, assuming that we get Mini Monkey at some point. That's going to be...
The Mermaid's reward is a space, but so is 3 pearls, so that's a pretty good start. An early
Keiper picked up Triangle right there.
Ooh, and Feather in the training grounds. Pretty nice. Wow, it would be nice if we had those Kongs.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, how expensive is Chunky? 2 coins! Amazing.
And there were 3 right around the dirt patch. Convenient, ain't it?
That's a blessing, for sure. There's no other coins we've seen yet. We haven't seen a rainbow coin yet. That's incredible. What a blessed start. Love to see that.
Starting strong.
Like I said, you want your family fast, because the more Kongs you have available, the more stuff you can do. The more options you have. And especially because the world is so wide open, it's not super clear where your Kongs are until you can start rolling in. So, there we go. Caves is our level 1. Mike knows it costs nothing. Time to bail. He's going to go take a look at some other levels, it looks like. What's our level 3? Running out of options here. Japes. Excellent.
I'm just taking a second and third look over the bingo board right now, trying to figure out what I would be likely to pursue in general.
Here we go. So here's what our item hinting hints look like. You're looking for Monkey Port, you're looking for Strong Kong, Kasplat and Force for Strong Kong, Balloon, Forest Mills, Junkie, Jobs and Isles, just all sorts of random info floating around. And with 4 GBs, you get 3 packs of hints here, so there's a lot to write down here. So shops and factory for Monkey Port, that's nice, but let's say peanut and R&D. I mean, could be on like a Kasplat and R&D. That's pretty nice.
We do also have a check that, or a square that is complete all R&D checks, which does, on the one hand, give us the opportunity. It's going to be partially factored in, considering that we have to be looking for peanut there, but on the other hand, does include some very, very slow checks.
Oh, but Lanky's in a shop in Japes. We want to go there immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Level 4 Aztec. What's our 7? Our 7 is Forest, which leaves level 6 to be Factory. Factory is also looking pretty good. Let's see. So now we just gotta kind of keeping tabs on where we might find things. This is the start. This is the beginning of when you can start to kind of piece together what you might want to go for. You look at what's available, what got hinted, and you can be like, I can do some checks with I can do some castle checks with Lanky, even though I don't have Lanky. I just made that up, but it was a terrible example. Right. Oh wow, we actually... Keiper made it all the way to the next hint pack from there. That's pretty nice. He gets a little more info.
With Keiper's hints right now, knowing that Mini Monkey is in Factory with Chunky and we have Chunky, I would immediately rush that. That's the one that I think that I would go to personally. I know we do have to find Tiny at some point, but that I have a good feeling about Ponytail Twirl this seed. Or at the very least, the way that this bingo board looks.
Twirl, you say? Well, we just got Twirl hinted in the Lighthouse area.
So it looks like we're heading over there, that's for certain.
Lighthouse is open. I think, actually, I'm kind of of the opinion that it might be time to... I think you have to pick one of Japes or Factory here. If you pick Factory, there's a chance you find just a whole bunch of good stuff. You could find Peanuts, which is like a goal, and a gun for a Kong you start with, which is excellent utility. If you pick Japes, you might find Lanky, but the problem is that you don't know who's buying him. There's a chance he's bought by Tiny, and you just kind of are out of luck.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
I think I like my odds here. 3 out of 4 to be able to buy Lanky immediately, and you have all your Kongs on you, and life is good. Well, we'll see when when things start being found. We don't have anything production hinted, so Crusher Room is unknown right now that Mike is trying to force his way into. But sometimes density is density. The hints cap at 25 GBs, so once they get 25 GBs, you'll probably start seeing them just not pick any more up. Unless they're going for that big 80. It's definitely tough, but it's possible. Early stages of bingo, a lot of just exploration. Just grab things you find and hope it's good. A lot. You can kind of like pick your rows based on what you find early, so step 1, get stuff, and then figure out what you're kind of close to. Factory and Japes both being very popular starts because, well, there's a lot of checks on them that are really easy to get to. Shotgun in these levels gets you a ton of things.
Unfortunately, that one was a junk check.
I missed the head blast. I just didn't mark that. Very cool. They started with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm blind. Excellent.
Good.
Horrifying news, but in other news, we've spawned the lever to the arcade. How scared are we of arcade?
I would be terrified.
Yeah, that's about right.
Going through some of our early chores right now, going through Hive Tunnel to see those Kasplats.
Factory shops for Monkeyport? Probably what this is. If it's something
Again,
else, it's interesting, but...
I'm liking getting all these Tiny moves early. We still need to find Tiny, obviously, but I'm liking filling out Tiny.
Tiny's in the Castle Underground. What are the odds it's just on like a simple Castle Underground check, right? Like Donkey Dungeon or a Kasplat. There's 2 Kasplats down there.
We do have... Yeah, it's interesting.
There's a lot of really ugly checks, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Could be the Baboon Balloon check. It could be Sniper check, because everybody here is a fan of Castle Diddy Underground, right?
Golly, don't do them like that.
Oh,
Holy
man.
This is toxic. Oh, brother.
Only the most positive of commentary provided here at DK64 Speedruns.
Indeed, indeed. Castle surroundings might also net you trombone. We didn't see Lanky at Funky, so hopefully Lanky just turns up in the back of Japes here. Otherwise we might run into problems. There is no item placement logic in Bingo. The whole world is opened up, and with complex level order turned on, but all your lobbies accessible, functionally, or practically speaking, anything can be anywhere.
Hello, that is a red vial inside Factory Tiny mini cage.
And we have... Sorry, go on.
We know where Mini Monkey is. We know that we need to look for Peanuts as a square. and we are already going to be looking for Mini Monkey in order to get the Mermaid's reward as well. So a lot of this is very good the second we find out where Tiny is.
So that is probably actually Charge, because we have a factory and Tiny hint for Charge. And that's the only red vial that kind of lines up there. Peanut is an R&D, Guitar is in a Galleon shop, and Rocket Barrel is in Castle. So that could be Spring or Charge, but Charge kind of fits the bill, so I would bank on that.
Charge also does give us access to another R&D check later on with Diddy pin code.
That factory R&D, the R&D checks are looking kind of nice. The column kind of sucks because it's got the crowns in it, but the diagonal's not bad. It's a lot of bosses, but it's probably not too bad. BFI isn't terrible. You're pretty likely to find the fairies you need as you go, and you already need a Mini Monkey to do R&D anyway. There's a lot of chunky moves required for the R&D one though. That's kind of tricky.
Yeah, Punch, which I believe we know about already. I think we got a hint for Hunky Chunky, and we already do have Triangle. So really, it's just a matter of do we want to sink the 2 or 3 minutes into doing that check. And as a clarification for the bingo rules, is the arena considered an R&D check?
Yes.
Okay, so then we're also going to need Gorilla Grab if we want to clear that square out.
Not gonna lie, I definitely said yes before I knew for certain, but Sarah got me immediately, so that's definitely true.
Yeah,
no
perfect,
lying today.
it?
Yes. Yes. R&D meaning research and development. That is the top floor of Frantic Factory. So anything up the pole from testing, or from yeah, this is testing. God. Factory has a bunch of weird, arbitrary, specific names that make sense after you play a ton, but in hindsight are kind of weird.
And they're divided by invisible lines, basically, what the zone is and isn't.
What do you think they're testing in testing? Like this huge block tower here? Are they testing us on our counting abilities?
They're testing my patience, that's what they're doing.
Good one. But I guess they're testing toys. I guess this is a toy factory, isn't it? That kind of makes sense. But I feel like there's more testing done in the Toy Monster, right? You kind of give it the 1-2, the stress test.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, hopefully this is Peanut on this guy. That would be
Let's go!
Very nice, very nice.
Guitar, okay.
So Keiper has chosen Castle second, and he is rewarded with his trombone here, which is interesting. He was not able to buy Lanky. Oh gosh, was Lanky bought by Tiny? That is tragic. That's probably why he went to Castle. He's trying to find Tiny in the underground now. We lost the 3 and 4. That's brutal. Peanuts for Mike as he runs through Japes is probably pretty sick though.
Definitely.
Underground, maybe in a crate? Hey, very nice. Tiny popping out of a crate there. Magnificent.
Mike is right now just kind of grinding out, just doing the immediate checks, but having Peanut right in front of you as you start doing these points to Diddy's metal being accessible pretty easily, as well as bringing us closer to doing... If it is Charge that's inside the factory Tiny Cage, or Tiny Mini Monkey Cage, then that would make me want to come back and do, or at least look inside or the mountain in order to see what minecart has. Especially because we do have complete all 3 minecarts as an option.
Yeah, it was on Funky and I completely missed it. We're all over the place. But that is Lanky. Keiper immediately abandons Castle after getting Tiny just to go buy Lanky immediately. So
can't blame him.
That's a full family in 15 minutes. Pretty great. Kind of the nature of the beast when the world is so wide open. I wonder if Mike is going to pick the same, try and dive Castle and just like hope you find Tiny. Keiper found it in 2 checks, so gotta be feeling pretty good about that. And with Feather, you gonna go check the Hive Tunnel? There's nothing hinted here, unfortunately, so we'll see. I don't suppose there's any interesting checks here. Nothing on the board, so... Is Keiper's coming here just for density?
It's worth hitting it up. At the very least, get an idea of what we can come back and do.
I like to say that knowledge is power in DK64 Randomizer. If you see something, it's almost as good as picking it up.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's no reason not to get, you know, the hints.
Get some eyes on the goods. Alright, 14 GBs for Mike. That gets him the next hint pack. Keiper's only chilling at 9, so you can see that Mike being a little more thorough. Maybe the factory clear was very beneficial for GBs.
I do also want to point out that on factory or castle exterior with the Kasplat, the DK Kasplat, I believe that is at the bottom of it, we did get trombone tremor for Keiper got that there. So those are a bunch of access points that are now very readily available for us.
What kind of goals are we looking at for trombone? That helps R&D.
Yep.
Maybe that helps Helm? We don't know what the Helm order is. There we go, a few more hints. Spring is a check on the board. It's in the Galleon Caverns. Maybe that's easy to get. A lot of Galleon Cavern checks are accessible. We might need Pineapple, but that seems like a pretty easy square.
I believe O-Sprint is a square on here, so that's pretty good knowledge.
Sprint is a... Oh, it is. And it's just bought in a shop. That's awesome. Our other slam, we saw one slam is Chunky and Galleon, and the other slam is somewhere in the main aisle. And then our last hint that I just missed was oranges in the Aztec Oasis Totem area. Sure. So with these item hints, you get pretty strong information on where any specific thing is. If you're looking at a row, you can really effectively target the moves you're looking for in a row. And you gotta kind of hope and pray that the moves you're looking for aren't too terribly locked. Like, there's some pretty awful stuff in here. Let's see. Like, Rocket Barrel is Castle with Lanky. That could be anywhere from the greenhouse to the Lanky Tower, which would be horrendous. So if you're relying on Rocket Barrel, it's kind of a gamble. How awful do you think a Lanky check is going to be on? You have to weigh that into it. You have to take that into account when you're trying to pick your rows. Bingo's very fast-paced, and in a qualifier seed, reminder, only the top 16 out of this qualifier will make it. You got pretty good odds. Top half will get you there, but there's pressure. You gotta think fast. Good luck.
So we're now looking at the joke check that I suggested before, and it has nothing.
Mercifully. Oh, that's another crown. Crown casinos aren't real. Excellent. Going to the cave shops.
We say that, but unironically, it's now looking a lot better to go after 6 crowns. Or at the very least, it's looking a lot like it's not worth discarding the way that it was before.
4 crowns? Is it actually 4? Have we seen 4 already? That's insane. Oh my god, there's another one. Okay. Maybe we're talking.
Alright,
Alright, who's writing down the crown locations? Because I wasn't. Good grief.
Yeah, this is...
And has one person seen all the crowns? We have 2 screens up, right? If the information is uneven, that doesn't really help either player. Okay, why might Keiper be doing this igloo? It appears to be unhinted to me.
We have 5-door igloo checks as one of our squares.
Oh, sure do. That would require every instrument?
Which would also be one of the trombone tremor checks that I had mentioned before.
Ooh. And I mean, from Keiper's perspective, he's got 2 of the instruments already. Guitars in a shop in Galleon. But we don't know where bongos or sax are. Those hints have not turned up yet. Tiny for Mike. He was pretty thorough about clearing the castle underground, checking the dungeon before checking that crate. Like, Keiper hasn't run into the dungeon yet. Keiper actually just basically ran straight to Tiny and kind of got away with one, so...
I don't necessarily disagree with that, and there's crown number 6.
Okay, there's a crown. Keiper saw that crown, so that's one of the crowns that we've already seen. But my goodness. And
yeah, that's...
And Mike buys it. Mike is committing. I mean, 6 crowns is great. If you can figure out column 2 somehow, if you can find 3 pearls, column 2 is like kind of looking up. It's definitely tough, but it's looking up.
would say at this point, row 3 is looking not terrible. I mean, it's a couple of really long checks in there, but assuming that you're able to string together everything in order to get 6 crowns, you're cooking with gas.
Rippy, I'm going to level with you. Yep. I got a pretty good read on Keiper. I think there's approximately a 0% chance Keiper wrote down any of his crown locations. He is never doing 6 crowns. Like, it's just never going to happen.
All right, cool. So it was, thanks for giving us all the info, bud.
I mean, there's just no way.
No, not in a million years.
I don't know if I would have written them down. Like, I don't know if I would have conceded this 6 crowns as a possibility. I know Mike's done a lot of bingos, and, I mean, he bought the crown. He's like, hedging my bets here, right? It's like a 10-second investment to buy this crown.
Yeah, same thing with pearls.
If it turns up, like, yeah. It's a pretty nice check if it turns up. Okay, here we go. We got sacks hinted. And bongos.
And sniper. And homing.
Okay, well, here comes everything, I guess. I think there's... Oh, the bean. Okay, the bean is the last thing I got. Right. We love our bean, don't we, folks? Alright, got all these. Let me read them. Barrels in the lighthouse area. Sure. Barrel's generally a very important move, right? You need it for a lot of bosses. So good to keep that in mind. Bongos is like a Splat Forest, so... another very easy to get instrument. Alright, our K rule order is Tiny Donkey Lanky. Is that even a goal? I don't think it is. Feather, we already know. So we got it. Sniper, Japes with Diddy. I don't know what to make of that. Not super likely we need that. Right. And homing ammo is Castle with Lanky. Another Castle Lanky check, so Castle Lanky looking pretty solid. Greenhouses might give you something nice. And saxophone is in Creme Isle. That's not... There are some easy ones there, but there's some difficult ones there. There's not a lot of easy ones, which is the tricky bit. It could be like Monkey Port Locked.
Oh wow, really? Triangle looking for Primate Punch immediately after picking up Primate Punch.
That's a classic. I think Mike, God bless you, I don't think he's writing his hints down. I think he's just very quickly scanning his hints, looking for something specific and just going, which is like, he's a braver man than I, that's for sure. That's kind of wild. I respect it. Alright, and Keiper has found his sprint. Where did we find sprint? We found sprint. Where was sprint? Oh god, I missed it. But he got sprint and immediately ran to the beetle race. That's 2...
Cave shop.
Cave shops, that's it. Well, maybe I wrote that down wrong. Maybe I miswrote down Oscar. That's a classic. But you grab sprint, you immediately do the beetle race, and bang, just like that, that's 2 goals on a row. Row 5 looking real strong. Once again, we got Blast to get into the Llama Temple, although I think the Llama Temple's open. You got Feather to get in right now. We need Grape. Some way to get to the top, the O-stand locked barrel. And then Mini. And then a random instrument.
So the O-stand lock barrel, you can actually cheese that. From the top, like the floor 3, near where Lanky's Grape Gate is, you can jump off of that ledge and ponytail twirl into that where that barrel is and just barely make it in.
Right, so ideally they find twirl, or they could find O-stand and do it just the same.
Actually, well, we do know where twirl is according to one of our hints, so that's not the issue.
Right, they just need something. Or if they're feeling spicy, they just like tiny kick slide up the dino snakes, and life is good.
And since we know where Sniper Scope is, so that crypt check is not going to be the issue.
Well, we know where everything is. We don't know exactly where Sniper is, but we know it's Diddy and Japes. We're kind of running our way there right now. On Mike's side, he might find it here. He might find it just like right here. Diddy minecart?
Let's go.
There's a potion here, and minecarts are a goal. Is Mike targeting row 3? That's crazy. He's
not. That is a bold strategy right there.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know if I agree with that, but let's see if it pays off for him.
Right, Aztec dirt for pineapple, or for no Aztec dirt for coconut. You got to go to Aztec like right now, right? Because it could just be in the front.
100%.
And then a Kasplat Aztec for pineapple. I mean, pineapple's looking kind of. Oh, Aztec looking kind of nice right now. I'm not gonna lie. Those 2 hints are killer. All right, there's 1 hint left. It is either for. Oh no, our 1 hint remaining. Is
looking
O-stand.
for the bean.
Yep. In item hinting hints, it will hint all your items. Bingo is actually set up in such a way that all moves you don't start with will get a hint. So everything will end up hinted, and you've got to pick and choose your puzzle pieces to try and untangle the seed and figure out how you want to beat these rows. So you'll know where everything is to clear the crypt, but maybe the stuff you need to clear the crypt is in a horrible spot, and that's just tragic. Our last hint, though, is going to be for O-stand. That is the last move we don't have a hint for, so... Yeah, a lot of science went into the creation of Bingo. Our good man, the king of Yami Makai, known Blitz champion. I know he has a time in the asyncs. He's not in the live qualifier, but he's a contender. He is a major force behind this one, as well as Mumbo Token, another player who is already in the qualifier, who is currently in the qualifier. Those two are going at it. They put a lot of work into it, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun to puzzle and untangle these seeds.
The mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Wrapped in a mystery, and then another enigma.
My
layers.
God. If we want to restart, King of Yami Makai can join. Great, hold on. Let's just get the gang together.
Yo, just pop in. You got 25-minute head start. Get going. Alright, as the information starts to pile in, right, Mike is approaching 25. He's got to make a decision. Where do I... What is my end game? What is my end game? He's not thinking... He left the mine cart, so I don't think he's thinking row 3 anymore. Keiper's pretty clearly thinking row 5, so we'll see how that pans out for him. Clearing chunky checks and factory. He's looking for Mini Monkey. Could be on the metal at 45 CBs, or... Oh, factory is Blue Slam. So you can't actually do the dark room, or chunky production. Kind of horrible. I think you have to look at the boss. Because the boss could be your chunky move, but... Your chunky check. Worth a look when it's 0. Oh, the boss is a key. The keys are vanilla. I'm so dumb. Thank you, team. You never need to look at bosses. That's very nice. Like buying a fairy, maybe he's looking at the bottom right square. The squares that fit on diagonals are like generally like slightly higher value because they can fit into one of 3 checks. They can hit in a diagonal, or the row, or the column they're in. So targeting diagonal squares and when you're like unclear on where you want to go makes a lot of sense.
Row 5 definitely seems like... If you want to target that, that's definitely something worth targeting.
There's great synergy there, right? There's mini required for between the Llama Temple and BFI. Sprint is needed for 2 squares. But then there's like a couple like wild cards, like grab or even punch doesn't even share. Alright, I guess we have punch. Pineapple. You gotta get a bunch of guns. Tricky business. But Mike got his sprint and he's like, son of a gun, maybe I just do the beetle race. This seems pretty good.
Just going back and looking over the board right now, what would you be targeting right now? Like, if you had to pick a row and column. Or if you had to pick 2 of our... if you had to pick the 2 to go after, what would it be? At this moment in time.
This moment in time? Row 5 seems alright. And then... This might sound crazy, but bottom left, top right doesn't seem terrible either. It does depend on where Rocket Barrel is. That's a little scary, actually.
You prefer bottom left, top right as opposed to column 1? That's an interesting... I'm just curious about that.
Column 1's pretty good too. Keys are kind of annoying. How bad is barrels? Barrels is lighthouse? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Maybe the play is to go to the lighthouse, kind of like scope out where barrels is, and try and figure stuff out. Because you could also find twirl in the lighthouse. So if you found either, you're kind of making progress. And if you're also thinking column 1, you could find spring in the caverns. Okay, I'm with you here. Column 1 seems pretty solid.
Yeah, and oh no!
Oh, Mike! A beetle race claims another. With random cosmetics, it's actually a rabbit beetle. Real head scratcher for you. Oh, the more I think about it, column 1 is actually kind of awesome. Okay, one tricky catch is Castle Diddy Middle is horrendous, but you do have Peanut, so that helps a lot. Oh, Peanut and Punch are fine. Spring is caverns. You might find that there. I kind of want to see a galleon trip. That could really narrow down where you want to go.
I'm thinking Keiper wants to head over to Galleon right after this.
Now, mind you, we've picked out one spot, but like this is us just like kind of like deeply analyzing the board. It's entirely possible there are other like pretty good rows and columns that we're just like not looking at, because I mean there's a lot to look at. You got 25 squares. That's a ton of possibilities for where you want to go. Row 5 seems to be something I imagine a lot of people will home in on because of the synergies, but there's other options available. Like if you're gonna commit to, how bad is Helm? Helm is 2 rooms. Wow, Mini Monkey on Chunky's Metal and Factory. That's huge. That is a move that covers a lot of stuff.
That is absolute gas. That was a brilliant find right there.
That's really good, because otherwise you were probably going to have to go find a Slam.
MikeChamp, my bud.
Oh, Mike.
So sorry.
The beetle means business. That's what he does. We were running out of chunky checks to do in Factory. It was looking like you might have to go find a Slam before you could go get Mini Monkey, which would be tragic. But now, Keiper can go take his Mini Monkey and run up to the arcade and go pick up that charge, but he doesn't really want to. Okay, all good.
If there's fairies that you can purchase, I think clearing that out is absolutely worth it as well.
Maybe. Looking at your hints, it doesn't appear to be any important. It doesn't appear to be an important check on BFI, so I guess I'm not super worried about it yet. It's something you can like just get to at the end, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Take your time, accumulate fairies as you go, and when time comes to clock out, off you go. Alright, here we go. He's getting his charge now. I think this has to be charged now. Everything else got hinted. We love our custom music, don't we, folks?
Yeah, shout out to all the custom music creators. Have we crossed the 1,000-song mark yet? Because I know we have indeed. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. So much talent goes into the work that those people put out.
There's a lot going into it, Mike. Here you go. One man to beat.
I believe in you.
Just live this turn. Live this turn, and you're fine. All right, we're good.
Go on.
Oh. We're good.
Oh goodness.
I really wish I had seen what was on that bonus barrel in Steins, because that could be sacks, which might be something for igloos. But looking at the igloo, it's kind of awkward. I don't know, column 5 doesn't seem terrible either, but I'd say Diddy Donkey?
400 colored bananas in one level is absolutely the turnoff for me.
It's a lot, but with a full suite of guns, it's actually not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. You have to like scour japes, but like, or maybe you have some other level you're already trying to do, like. None of the other rows look conducive to it, right? If you had to like go clearing all the igloos is like as close as it gets to like, are you really gonna get 400 in caves? That's kind of brutal. Caves Helm Lobby got hinted for Gorilla Gon, so that's kind of what Keiper's looking for here, even though one of the checks here is a Gorilla Gon check. Unfortunate. least I think he's looking for Gorilla Gun. That's what got hinted there. Or it could be Isles Chunky. No. Right. Hot little think dance. Think. And Keiper's off. Alright, we're getting an Aztec look from Mike. Okay, good look at the coconut cage on Krem. Our Sax is not there. Unfortunate. Keiper remembering this fairy exists and is like, you know what, I'm just gonna grab this right now. It's pretty clear he's targeting row 5, so...
Yeah, there's no reason not to at this point.
Well, the reason I would say not to is that I think it's kind of inevitable you're going to run into 4 fairies. I think that's all you need. 4? Checking. It is 4 fairies. So, it's not that high a number. Like, you'll find them in, like, shops or something, and you can just kind of, like, keep that last one in your back pocket. I guess it's something to do in the meantime. Alright, Aztec Dirt, can we get Coconut Shooter here?
Let's go.
Yes. Yes, that's super good. And we get Pineapple on a Kasplat and Aztec. Aztec is a great dive, I think. Aztec's a great dive. I kind of like the aforementioned Galleon to maybe pin down if you want to do row 1 or not, or column 1.
Column 3 is surprisingly decent as it stands.
I think that one comes down to Rocket Barrel. I think Rocket Barrel's a little bit of a head scratcher. Castle Lanky? Kind of dicey.
There's like 5 places. Yeah, there's a couple of very bad places it could be.
Yeah. It's not too bad. I mean, you kind of know where everything is. But, obviously you know where everything is. But you'd have to, if it's in like Lanky Tower, it's kind of horrendous. Is Keiper pushing for Forest Donkey Medal? Is he thinking like a column 3 maybe? I could see it. He checked the helm order. I think he's thinking column 3, row 5. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. Cave's Tiny Metal, you got Feather Mini. You can just get that whenever you want. Forest DK Metal, go climb the mushroom, you're chilling. I mean, shoot, you can do Forest DK Metal like last. You can come back for that at the end once you have Rocket Barrel already, and then just like fly to the top of the mushroom to get a couple extra. Well, you got Coconut too, so...
You're still hitting the wall that is complete all crypt checks.
Yeah. But you got Coconut. You're going to get Pineapple here. You've got Charge. All you need is Grab and you're good on the crypt. Where's Grab? Grab is an Isles Chunky. Maybe that's why you looked at Helm Lobby. Maybe you need Barrels to pick up the rock. Maybe you need... I think we've seen the Pineapple Cage in the back of main aisle. And then, what's the 4th one? Pound the X? You're just a hunky away. You need Sax, too. Pound the X would be a little unfortunate for Grab, but we'll see. He's taking a pretty hard look at the mills here. He might find Balloon. Balloon is Grab locked. Woof.
About the worst thing you could have possibly seen at this point.
And double slam locked. So
well, that also makes it worse.
If you get a look at Lanky Tower and you see something's up there, you're in trouble. Like, that's not good. We have a number of options for that. It could be homing ammo up there, it could be Rocket Barrel up there, which would be tragic. A good bingo strat coming out from the vets. Column 3, row 5, it overlaps your long goal. Thank you, Zern. Good point. Complete all your crypt checks. That's probably the longest goal here. It requires the most moves, and generally speaking.
That being said, everything that you need in order to do it is kind of incidental, as it were, to all the other checks. There's a lot of overlap there. So Llama Temple checks, you're going to need your weapons and Mini Monkey. You already have O standoff. Everything is starting to really line up for that to make sense. That's a good convergence point.
A lot of value on the splats and forest here. You might get bongos here, or Strong Kong on any of these 3 mushroom splats. Here's one. It is Strong Kong. Unfortunate. Kind of wanted the bongos a little more, but...
Not real. No crown casinos.
Oh my god, is that another crown?
It was another crown.
Oh my god, unbelievable.
The man's not going to write down any of his crown locations and still see all of them.
He's too good. O-stand
Can't keep getting away with this.
Okay, he panned over the O-stand hint so fast I didn't read it. Anyone got Eagle Eyes? Okay, well, Keiper just got it, so surely he's going to check it. No, instead
he's just going to jump off the edge.
Instead, he is going to long jump into the void. I understand.
That is what we in the profession call an unforced error.
Happens to the best of us. Aztec Tiny Metal for Mike. So maybe... How bad are our guns looking? He just got Coconut. Pineapple is... Oh, he ran through all of Aztec, didn't he? Which means Pineapple was probably Rocket Barrel locked?
Oh, wow.
That's kind of rough.
That's not great.
Because he does not have Pineapple marked, so he does not have that. Which means he... Oh, maybe he didn't go back for the Stone Bridge Kasplat that's Coconut locked. So it could be there. Ooh, nice little...
He's going to try and peek off of this by clipping the camera through slightly, and... So, of note, that camera clipping is considered... clipping, as it were. The camera peeking is considered legal. It's when you go through the wall before you should be able to. That is considered illegal or a clip.
Alright, I'm kind of realizing that I don't think I actually care where O-stand is. I kind of care because it helps pin down some vial info, but as I care, I don't think the runners ever care because they can probably just skip O-stand, whatever it is. Unfortunately, Seagull with the greatest eyes of all time. O-stand in the galleon shops, thank you. Now Keiper is deciding Aztec. And finally, Mike is going to take a look at Galleon. I'm going to see Galleon for a while. Okay, maybe he's not. Never mind. Great. Make a fool of me, why don't you? Oh, but he spotted a fairy here, so he's scooping up number...
3, according to his... Oh, wait, or is that 5? Nope, 3, according to his tracker.
Seems we need to learn how to count, too. Unfortunate. You hate to
World's
see it.
tiniest font.
Look, it doesn't help I got a spaceship open here. A spaceship UI with everything pulled up.
Yeah.
You got a notepad on one side, you got 2 screens here, bingo board, trackers, 6 consoles, you know the drill.
Yeah, it's the actual definition of a battle station.
Kind of badass. I'm here for it.
Okay, we do have punch, so that's a solid. You're not really wasting any time, as it were.
I mean, it's a caverns check. You might find spring here, and that's a square, so gotta keep that in mind. And we're kind of running out of options here, so it's either a pineapple lock or it's on the crown. And I think we all want it to be. Well, I guess there's a spot up here. We all want it to be not pineapple locked because it's just more pain and suffering that you might have to deal with. Because pineapple does not seem to be in a very pleasant spot.
More checks that you have to do. You have to get 1 item to complete.
Right. And then how many times does that propagate, right? What if Rocket Barrel is locked by 1 item? What if that item is then locked by 1 item and you just gotta work your way down the path back to the thing you can get? And
good old MacGuffin right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just get the one thing in order to progress the game.
And then the next thing,
story.
And then the next thing you know, you lost 20 minutes and you're like, how did this happen?
How many de facto keys can I possibly get? Hey, speaking of which.
Hey, here we go. So this should be spring. Hey, you just have to sit through a 45-second crown filled with pretty awful enemies.
Well, no, there's the Cheez-It strategy, which we can see MikeChamp doing right now.
Very simple. Just bounce on him.
That enemy doesn't appear often, but when he does, it is absolutely... You can just set your controller... If you get the bounce position right, you can set your controller down and go stretch for a minute, get some water, you know, pet the pet, say hi to the family.
So with Mini Monkey and Toad, Keiper's fishing pretty hard here for grape in the tiny temple. See if he's lucky enough to pull it here. Could be in the free tiny location. Could be in
I believe we saw free tiny already, which didn't have it.
Alright, well, it's just there. It's Mini Monkey locked. Mini being the chunky metal in factory. So that pull is continuing to pay dividends. Grape is necessary for Llama Temple checks, so his row 5 goal, he needs that for sure. In fact, can he do it right now? Is he missing anything for the entire Llama Temple? Maybe the free lanky item. Maybe. If he hits the wrong instrument, he does need to go back in there. But it's information, right? If you take a look and... Oh, no, that's not Pineapple. Pineapple is Rocket Barrel locked. Oh, no. It's not the Stonebridge Kasplat. We need to find Rocket Barrel with Lanky and Castle somewhere. Oh, dear.
Those are almost exclusively nasty checks.
Yeah, no kidding. Fortunately, Keiper has picked rows such that he's got to find Rocket Barrel anyway. So he's like, you know what? No big deal. I'll go get it. I'll go get Rocket Barrel and then solve that problem. Okay, here we go, lighthouse area. So we're looking for twirl and barrels in the lighthouse. If barrels turns up easy, that's pretty good. A lot of checks behind barrels.
That's not one of them.
It's not Kevin, unfortunate. And because Mike is not going for... What is that?
That's sacks. That is sacks to free Lanky.
Ooh, that might be the worst instrument we could have seen. Sax is in Creme Isle somewhere, and I don't think we've peeked it anywhere. Which means... It could be Upper Creme. No, we've seen Upper Creme.
Yeah, we've seen Upper... Did we see it? It's going to be in... If it's in Creme Isle, it's going to be in...
On the crown.
Crown. Yeah, the crown pad.
It has to be the crown, then. That's the last Creme Isle check. There was a potion on the Diddy Spring? Alright, never mind. It was there. That was the one thing that I really wish I saw and didn't see it. So it's probably that.
Yeah, chat is paying attention for us. They're shoring up our commentary.
Thank you, chat. Thank you. I'd give out gold stars for the day, but I feel like I'm going to need to give out too many to just be one day. So the gold star of this 10-minute section goes to Pyra. Thank you. In 10 minutes, another gold star will be made eligible. Wow, another fairy in the Llama Temple. It's kind of like goes to show why, like, if you just, like, you know, wait, good things will come to those who wait. You'll just find fairies naturally.
Patience is a virtue, one I do not have.
If only we were all so blessed to be so patient. Tough. Keep a gold star for myself. Seagull, you're too kind. I got like a mountain of these gold stars I gotta hand out. It's unbelievable. Okay, there's Pineapple. Oh, it's this guy. I forgot about this guy. Pineapple mini locked in the Llama Temple. Well, that's pretty awful for Mike, but it's pretty great for Keiper.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I just forgot about that guy. Holy smokes. Good thing it's not Rocket Barrel locked, but I don't know if that's better or worse for Mike. So Keiper is now a grab away from being able to do the crypt check, and a sax away from being able to do all the Llama Temple checks, and like some number of fairies away from BFI. I do not know how many.
At this point, it's got to be like 2 or 3.
Gotta be. I think Mike's looking for a slam. He just ran a chunky 5-door ship, and Galleon Chunky is hinted for a slam. The only reason to go into that ship. And without Pineapple, he's gonna have a rough time getting the... Oh, there's Chunky's metal. It's not the metal. That's really unfortunate. Alright, Keiper, why are you going to the Owl Tree? What are you thinking this time? Is he trying to find bongos on the Kasplat over here? It must be, right? This is the last Kasplat?
It's definitely worth grabbing bongos. I mean...
Does he need it?
I feel like...
Yeah, he needs it for Helm, so he's running right here.
If he's doing that check, then absolutely.
Yeah, he's doing Column 3, Row 5. He's locked in on that. I mean, this is a pretty strong commit now. And I don't blame him. At this point, Sax is probably his biggest question mark. But if we think it's spring locked, then he can like either go get spring or maybe find barrels. So he might need a galleon trip. Chunky main aisle? Nothing. He was either looking for slam here because a slam got hinted on main aisle, and then aisle's chunky for grab. Which I guess that's the other crypt question mark. What other chunky checks might we be needing to worry about here? It's not Helm Lobby. I don't think it's Helm Lobby. Pearl number 2. Alright, well. maybe if a third pearl shows up and then every chunky move shows up, we just like get a miracle column too, and every crown shows up. I might be a little optimistic. I'm forgetting chunky checks in. I'm forgetting chunky checks in aisles. It's the pineapple cage. Oh, pound the X. Ooh. Pound the X is looking increasingly likely to have grab, which is truly tragic, but we're looking for sacks anyway, and Hunky is Donkey in Forest. So it could be on like the Blast course. Could be the Check of Legends.
My god.
That would be brutal.
Oh wow. Keiper has all the weapons, so that is like, that's not even a joke.
Well, all weapons but none slams. He is in trouble. Forest is level 7, so if it's there, that's a disaster. And this is the nature of bingo. You kind of like pick something, stick to your guns, commit to the bit, and then discover that the row you picked is like secretly awful.
Yeah, you misplay and you cry, and it's just, oh wow, everyone else got everything easier.
Yeah, no kidding. But then when you get all your slams and all your guns, you do the Forest Lobby Battle Crown instead, and bang.
Yes, one could say that Keiper did care about the row and column that he picked.
Indeed. Am I crazy? Did Mike run into Galleon and not get guitar? Is guitar not in the Galleon shop? I feel like that's a great dive. I think that's why Keiper's here, even. Give me a check. A mini monkey for Mike off of the chunky cat, or the factory chunky medal. I think he was looking for a slam to try and get mini off a chunky check in factory, but unfortunately it wasn't a slam lock check, so he kind of got hosed there a little bit.
I feel like bingo in general is one of those game modes where the little parts of your brain that get very easily distracted is just going to fire haywire the entire time. Because the second that you get you're going and you're thinking, all right, I'm going to get this move, I'm going to get this thing, and then I'm going to do this, and immediately you unlock a move and you do 12 things that aren't what your original plan was.
Yeah, you kind of get sidetracked, like, all right, I want this, and then you look at your board and you're like, wait a minute, this column is totally free, and you're like,
I could have done this 10 minutes ago. Why didn't I just do that?
What am I doing?
Oh my god, what are we doing?
What are we doing here? Keiper scoping out chunky checks and aisles. That's kind of a whiff.
We did get Chimpy charge finally.
Charge for Mike, so he is working his way to row 5. He has marked that BFI is doable, so he's definitely committed to row 5 as well. I think Keiper's got a much better edge on him, having cleared out most of the Llama Temple already and being very close to the crypt.
I think Keiper's got a lot of edges at this point, mostly because he just has so many more moves and checks available to him. And the real reason that happened was just because he ended up doing one particular check a lot sooner. It just kind of boils down to a lot of the randomizer sort of randomness, as it were, where it's just sometimes you do one check and someone else doesn't, and that's like 15 minutes worth of playtime separate.
Snowballs pretty well here for sure. There's our sacks on Crime Isle. I mean, it's just all turn up Keiper. He's got to be feeling pretty good about his pace here. This is a pretty good one. However, in a lobby that's this large, is it good enough to get first place? Unclear. It's not over yet. Back to Aztec. With that Sax, he can go clear the Llama Temple, so he's just like, let's just do that. Required content. Off you go. He's a rocket barrel away from the Blast-O-Matic. And then a grab away from the Crypt. And he can get Cave's Tiny Metal pretty much whenever he wants at will. So he's 2 moves from go mode? The problem is that rocket barrel might be a little rat. And that grab might be even worse.
I mean, it wouldn't be a randomizer seed if you didn't have some absolutely abysmal checks.
Surprise, surprise.
There's no good seeds in a randomizer. There's only bad and worse.
True. This is very true. There are no good seeds. Let me be clear. None of them exist. So Mike, having found his last tiny temple check item, is coming back here for grape, so...
Keiper, now that he has saxophone, is cleaning out the rest of Llama Temple.
Yep. Now, mind you, he doesn't have O-stand or twirl to make this Dino Snake climb any easier. He's gonna have to just gun it and make it work.
He's gonna do the slide kick special. Let's see if he does it.
Big fan of the slide kick special. Maybe he does.
Or he actually does have O-stand, and neither of us paid attention to it.
That's a classic. Oh, it's just
hey, Chad, how are you doing today?
It wasn't a gown chop. Yeah, it's been a day, man. I tell you what.
Oh my god.
I the fool. Because it was in the galleon chops along with guitar. Which I'm not sure.
Great way to introduce Bingo to having two commentators who are barely paying attention.
There's a lot to think about, man. All right,
there's a lot of considerations.
I think we deserve better. You know, we're gonna finish this. We get to this 10 minutes gold star. That's what we get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Thanks,
Let's go.
Us.
Let's go, us.
Congratulations, Larock.
Yeah, Rippy, you earned it. Absolute beast.
There's Trombone.
Trombone on that guy. Going pretty good for Mike there, but now back in Castle, is he going to try and start digging up lanky checks? I kind of want to. Check the greenhouse and pray to the high heavens it's not homing ammo and is indeed rocket barrel. I suppose you have more options now. Oh gosh, Lanky Dungeon is still pretty awful. You do the Mausoleum, actually, no problem. So, yeah, Lanky Dungeon's pretty awful. But hang on, we saw Balloon, didn't we? We saw Balloon as grab locked. Ah, but I believe we did, yeah. Nah, but
and it's also double slam locked. That was the other thing.
Oh. Yeah, that's the problem.
Or is it double slam? Yeah, it's because Force is 7, right?
Yep, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a killer.
We don't know where any slam is either. Well, we know where they are, but we haven't seen any, so it's not convenient, that's for sure. It might be like the summit barrel for one of the slams, which is horrible. Like, we've seen Roof Dirt, right? We've seen every other main aisle check, I think. I think it actually is the summit barrel.
Roof Dirt had the pearl on it.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch. Well, if it's rocket barrel locked, that kind of bodes well, right? It means your rocket barrel isn't going to be super duper locked.
It's also... rocket barrel is just looking more and more just hunt it down as soon as you can.
Keiper trying to... Keiper trying to extract all of the tiny bananas out of there. Oh, no, it's homing him on the greenhouse. That's so sad.
Well, I got nothing. Yeah, it's just not great.
That's tragic. Maybe it's the Lanky Metal. Lanky Metal, Lanky Metal, come on. We grab these, we go to the Mausoleum, and we find Rocket Barrel here. Come on, Mike. Let's go. We live in the best worlds. We live in all the best worlds. He doesn't even stick around for the surroundings. There's nothing there. He knows there's nothing there. Only Trombone got hinted for Castle surroundings, and the Crown didn't get hinted, so doing the surroundings, there's pretty much nothing here for you. I say as he runs into the shed, or what? Oh, he wants some homing ammo. That does make sense. You can see the Lanky Tower check by... if you have homing ammo. You can see what it is. You won't be able to get it, but that is pretty helpful information. Knowledge is power. Here comes BFI for Keiper. He is on 4 goals, and you know what? We all get one. See ya, Mike. Down he goes. Go 7. So now Keiper's got to make some tough decisions. He's got to be like, alright, what do I think is gettable? Rocket Barrel or Grab? I think you got to go Rocket Barrel here, so he's headed to Castle. And he's going to run through the litany of lanky checks and hope he finds it.
Well, we have Grape, we have Sprint, that's Crypt Check right there. That is not only free, but it's on the path to everything.
I mean, yeah, fair point.
And hey, or it's just Rocket Barrel is going to be on.
Hey! We love that. Life is good. We don't have to worry about the lanky tower being horrendous. This probably favors Keiper pretty significantly here. Alright, he's still digging through Cave's Helm lobbies. Is he looking for Gorilla Gone? Was there actually something in Helm lobby? Are we crazy?
I don't believe we stayed long enough to really see it, or at least when we were there briefly, I didn't notice everything going on there.
But this backflip up to the top of Castle Lobby is very tricky. I think he's trying to get Gorilla Gone. It must be there because he would not be doing this otherwise. So actually, it's forget Pound the X. Helm Lobby might be our chunky check that has grab. Would be big.
So this trick is called Trophy Flip. It is very, very finicky. I've mentioned it briefly in Strat Talk that there is a pillar and a setup to make it slightly easier, but it's pretty not simple to do.
Oh, Pyro's getting the gold star back. You need Gorilla Gone to get in the helm anyway, so you always get Gorilla Gone. I'm silly. Hey, oranges.
Well, it was nice when we had it, Lorak, right?
Yeah, we had it for a bit. Tragic. So the other, apparently the other Kasplat in Aztec in the Oasis and Totem area had oranges, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, Keiper just needs this, so like, is he just gonna commit to it until he gets it? It's a really hard flip.
Quit.
That flip is brutal. I hate it.
Balem ended up sitting down per my request and figuring out like there is a lip that is slightly lower on one side, and I think it was Camerson. It was one of the other runners who enjoys finding nonsense tricks who ended up figuring out that there was a very precise setup to do to make it easier.
I think what it actually is, it's one side of the archway is like slightly easier than the other. They're both awful, mind you, but I think one is like a little bit better. I don't know. It's just bad.
It is finicky as heck.
It's bad. The reason why it's so bad is you have to like react to sliding off, which means you have to like hope you slide off and then react accordingly. You have to like predict that you're gonna make the backflip, and the backflip is already hard enough. And then once you get the slide off, jump with perfect timing and then kick slide at will. You have to do like 3 different like small tricks. In isolation, none of them are terrible, but the timing on each of them is so specific. It's just horrible.
So there is a ledge that is slightly lower than another, and it was actually only Spaghetti Code who found the relatively consistent setup. And it really is, you have to line up tiny to do it. Not so much subpixels, but like specks of dirt on the texture. Those are your lineups for it. It's a fantastic, just nonsense way of figuring it out.
And Keiper has conceded on the flip, so he's just trying to find Twirl here in the lighthouse area, which could be Rocket Barrel locked, it could possibly be the funniest thing of all time. Unfortunately, the other option is that you need a slam to get into the lighthouse, so like there's really nothing good for him here, and this is kind of awful. And he knows Balloon is horrendous, so that's just out of the question.
We have a Pearl, and Mermaid Reward is right there, correct?
That is true. That is another option. Pearl for Twirl?
I don't get it.
Like poetry or rhymes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now we got saxophone. We're just moving along. We got saxophone off of that one.
Wait. Did Mike not get pineapple off the Llama Temple Kasplat? I guess he's just like coming back for that? What is he?
I don't know if he...
Oh, he saw the sax pad and left because he's like, I know where sax is, I'm gonna go get it. And now he's coming back to the Llama Temple to do the rest. And then he's gonna have pineapple and life is good.
As I was joking about before, though, you have to keep into consideration fatigue as you're playing through this, 1,000 different getting distracted moments. He just has to... We are hoping that he remembers that there's that check to do there.
Well, he has to do it, right? If he's committing to row 5, he literally has to do it. He can't forget it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's pretty convenient. That said, it is definitely one of those moments of you fall down a chain of items. Oh, it's a GB. It's not even Twirl on the Pearl.
It's tragic.
Well,
Wait, that's genuinely tragic. Wait.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, now I think Keiper just has to commit to castle and just kind of like hope he finds Rocket Barrel. He will, and he'll be happy for it. But that is kind of brutal. I mean, your other options are, I don't know, Poundy X. I think we're back to being uncertain about Helm Lobby. Shoot, I wish I got a better look at that. And now Keiper's doing chunky checks in Galleon and trying to find a slam to try and get to the lighthouse. And he's doing the cannon game, which is horrible. We know it's not the metal. We know it's not the metal. It's not sick bay. So there's not too many options left. It's not Tinky's fiber ship.
It's unfortunate, but it's not unfounded to go after this check, you know?
Does it have to be here? I think it has to be here. We've seen the punch chest, too. I think this is it. This is the last chunky check in Galleon. Keiper doesn't know it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Keiper didn't know it, but we did, so that's cool. We're so smart. Here comes the gold star.
Yay!
Yes! Alright, so a slam. And now... now the seed could actually do the funniest thing of all time. And put the twirl on top of the lighthouse.
I beg of you.
But we live in the best worlds, so we're not going to wish ill on anyone. No,
why would I do that?
Absolutely not. We would never voice awful scenarios in an attempt to manifest them. That is not our business. We don't do that here.
Farm clips for YouTube. No, why would we do that?
No. Wait, did he already check the rocket roll? It's not there, right? Yeah, he can slam that switch. He saw it already, so it's not there. All right, we're good. Like I was saying, we live in the best possible worlds. Alright, so lighthouse. It's got to be either the dirt or the top of the lighthouse, and Keiper chooses to climb Wamp's fortress. Or does he? I don't know if he like committed it. He like half committed and then fell off. I love doing that.
Please, I beg you.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came back to this game, it took me an hour to do this the first time. I just completely forgot how to do this entire check.
Sometimes brain no worky, I don't know.
It also doesn't help that the way that this camera moves and locks your controller inputs is just so reminiscent of late 90s, early 2000s 3D platformers.
And then on top of that, the walls are made of fly paper, so if you touch them, you just stop moving.
Yep.
It's very silly. Alright, there's your twirl. Nice and easy castle lobby flip. Problem solved. Life is good. What's Mike thinking? Is Mike... Okay, so... Another contender for Mike... Oh, you know what? If I'm Mike... Is there a world where you're thinking column 1? 4 bosses is kind of crappy, but... It's not that bad.
He has basically everything else. It's just a matter of grinding out. Cave's Diddy Medals, or what's that? Yeah, Castle Diddy Medal's annoying, but not impossible, especially with all these moves available to him.
If you still commit to all the crypt checks, you still have to find grab, which is kind of unfortunate. It doesn't feel like that's what Mike's going for right now, but I'm not sure. He's going for a slam, so I think. I'm assuming he's doing the slam now. Lava Temple is done for Mike, so he is hard committed to row 5. Alright, Cave's Helm lobbies, maybe it's here? No. Alright. Back to Castle lobby with you, Keiper, I think.
Speaking of checks that took me an hour to remember how to do.
Oh no, Mike borks the cannon game. This is tragic.
Mike has done a series of very long checks that are not done on the first try.
Keiper is having a moment of indecision. Where are we thinking? Level 6 maybe? What is he thinking factory for? Oh, he's checking chunky checks and aisles. He hasn't checked the triangle pad yet. Okay. A little early again. Late. This game is horrible. It's just something that you just kind of get a feel for, and I have like spots that I always shoot at and they always work, and I just don't ever not do that. Going faster? Nope, banned. I shoot I shoot when I shoot, and I don't do any other time.
Exactly. It's very much... Especially that final one where it takes 1,000 years in order to make the arc, where it's like, if you don't take the time to line it up, you're never going to make it if you don't get it that time.
I love the throw to try and make it work. Try and throw the cannonball at the wall. Is Chunky stronger than the cannon? Some might say.
I mean, he can pick up a boulder with relative ease.
Very true, very true. Mighty impressive, this specimen.
Absolute lad.
Alright, back to castle for Keiper. Is he clearing out the crypt now? Is he gonna go scoop up his gorilla gun? Come on, come on, come on. Get up there. Okay, never mind. He's not thinking that. What is he thinking? It's a little impatient for Mike. You gotta be a little slower. Go.
Oh, still wow.
Oh, got it. Oh my god, I thought that was too early. Holy smokes. Well.
Yeah, so am I, Tudos. That was definitely very close.
That was by nothing. We're gonna put Mike on that cannon game regiment. Keiper currently trying to get Lanky's medal in an attempt to scoop up Lanky checks and castle. He's gonna get his rocket barrel here and be rewarded for it, so life is good, but... And with rocket barrel, you still need gorilla gun and then you do helm. And then from helm, you have to figure out what you're gonna do with grab. Tricky question. of 45. Need a little more for the length middle.
I do appreciate taking the time to get that balloon there. You were already so close. It was worth it.
Well, that's what he came in here for, I think. He doesn't care about the check. There's nothing here that... Oh, yeah, it could have been on that check, actually. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's like a double whammy. You get the check and the balloon at the same time. Kind of like the greenhouse.
Yeah.
A bunch of CBs and a check at the same time. Just for the road. Twirl for Mike. Is he thinking something for twirl? What is he thinking? You can do Mad Jack now. That's a key. Okay, scooped up his guitar at last from the guy chops. Ooh, the mechfish? Wait, he's doing the mechfish, forest documental, and then the forest crown. He goes to get Gorilla Gon from Castle Lobby himself.
Oh, that's a great play right there. That came out of nowhere, but yeah, everything kind of lines up for that one.
Bypassing grab is huge for him. That's massive.
Yeah.
Why did he need that slam, though? Maybe he just, like, realized it was doable. Oh, no, he still needs the grab for the crypt. So you skip helm, but... So yeah, which is worse, doing a crown and the mechfish, or doing helm and Cave's tiny metal? That's kind of what it boils down to between column 3 and bottom left, top right. It's actually a tough call. I think Mike's goals are faster, so that'll help, but...
In a vacuum, I think they are faster. The question is, what is the relative fasterness compared to where Keiper is sitting right now?
Okay, well, what Keiper needed to do there is not quit out and instead shoot a balloon to get rocket barrel immediately.
I mean, look,
that was a mistake.
Sometimes we all make bad decisions, all right?
We all make decisions, but we live in the best possible worlds, and it'll all work out in the wash. No worries. He's gonna head up to the greenhouse and see the homing ammo, and he'll be blessed with homing ammo. It'll be great. Where is Gon gonna be? Gon has to be in caves through helm lobbies, and I think we've seen everything. Besides the dirt patch up top. I don't think Mike's been up there. Where he's going right now. He is trying to find Gorilla.
Either. Oh yeah, there's the easy way to do this.
Yeah, with Twirl it's much easier.
Why didn't Keiper do the easy way?
He didn't have Twirl yet. He went to...
Oh, fair enough.
He went to Galleon to get Twirl, and then still hasn't done this, even though he got Twirl. Probably specifically to do this.
Right, that makes sense.
Still a little slip and slide here. Twirl is a lot easier here because you get onto the slope with a little bit of velocity, so it's easier to start the kick slide. It's just much more reliable. You will reliably get to the top and then start the kick slide. You're basically like removing an order of magnitude from the difficulty.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not. And it's not here
Oh,
anyway.
no.
Well,
Boy, that was tragic.
Well,
so that means if it's the Cave's home lobby, that means it's got to be the guitar pad in Cave's lobby, isn't it?
I think so. Unless it's like the Kasplat in Cave's lobby, but I feel like maybe we've seen that. I don't know.
I think we saw that one already.
Keiper did Castle lobby? Alright, well, I'm crazy then. I mean, he spent like 20 minutes trying to flip up there, so. And I thought he like ran through it and was like, he didn't do it. Maybe I'm just making stuff up now. It's been a day.
Bleed is real. This is definitely one of those, more than I think any of the other settings that we do commentary for. It really feels like you have to have 2 brains if you're doing commentary, or at the very least like 3 commentators going on, 1 doing commentary per stream, and then 1 kind of doing color to split.
Nah, we just do everything. We're built different.
No, we're fine.
Yeah.
Keiper doing the rocket. There we go.
I mean, running out of options. It had to turn up at some points. There's his Gorilla Gonzo. He can go beat Helm whenever he wants. And then he's got to find Grab. Chunky Checks and Isles is kind of bad, because if it's Pound the X, we need to find Hunky Chunky too. And then at that point, you found all the moves. You don't want to find all the moves in Bingo Seeds, because it probably means there was a better row if you had to get all the moves to beat your rows. Right? Something had to be better. I don't know what, but something, right?
I mean, it's kind of like what I said before. There's no good Bingo Seeds, only bad and worse ones.
All right, I'm with Mike on this one. He just fell through a hand into the lava for no reason. What happened there?
I can already feel my sanity slipping through my fingers like grains of sand.
Yeah, like Mike threw that hand into the ooze.
Exactly.
Very apt metaphor. That's tragic. That didn't make any sense. Sometimes, DK64, LOL. Doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of which, for anybody who is just tuning in, this is the Blitz Qualifier for the DK64 Randomizer Bingo. If you have any questions or would like to possibly play DK64 Randomizer, head over to DK64Randomizer.com.
Or pop on into the Discord, discord.dk64randomizer.com.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of gamers. A lot of gamers there. I mean, Bingo itself is community made. So, like, the thing of beauty. Mike trying to take one last look, like, wait, is it actually on the Strong Kong check? Wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, I think the twirl dive was probably just like a mistake from both of them. I don't think they need twirl anymore.
So I believe that some of our racers are starting to finish.
Some of them are. Pressure's on. Pressure's on. There's a Gorilla Gon for Mike. He's now got Force Lobby Battle Crown available. And he, I think, is committing to... What is he doing? He might be trying to spawn the X now. Oh, he's checking the Chunky check in Helm Lobby. He's spawning the Hunky Chunky barrel though, so he needs to do Pound the X. He's got it locked in. Here we go, Helm Lobby. I really wish we'd gotten a better look at this earlier. Okay, it's not there. I didn't think it was there. We're good. And now Mike runs back to his hints. Alright, where's Hunky Chunky? We need to pound the X now. Golly. Indeed. I'll tell you this much. Runners are indeed done. One of the beauties of Bingo is that somebody is going to find the wacky combination of rows, items, and columns that is just fast. And today, it is not these two, but they're still fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their tournament lives. Top 16 make it. And they are fighting to be in the top 16. We got 6 asyncs and 21 entrants into the lobby, so plenty of room, but far from a given. And then even still, you're fighting for seeding because those people who won and finished fast they're gonna cook you alive once again if you get a low seed. So you want to be higher seeded, obviously.
Generally speaking, I prefer to not play against like the top 3 or 4 seeds in any sort of bracket. This is a rule of thumb. Eventually, let me get my way there, but like for the moment, let me enjoy being able to participate.
I believe Keiper just dodged 2 swings from Kremlings there, so he's the luckiest man alive. And that is another goal down for Mike. He is on his way to bottom left, top right. And then, oh man, this might come down to like a big race to see who finds Hunky Chunky to do Pound the X here. And then they have to run through all the crypt checks. Oh boy, they got a few minutes to... There's time to... They gotta spend some time to do all this stuff now. This is gonna be a little rough for these two as far as positioning the race lobby goes. We'll see. The helm is turned off for Keiper. It is done.
So what is Keiper missing in order to complete his crypt checks right now?
He needs
grab. Just grab.
It's just grab to do the minecart. That's it. So right now he is running around to do every single chunky check he can think of in Isles, but I guess he's done everything because now he is headed back into... He's headed back into Forest to try and find Hunky Chunky, I think. And donkey checks in Forest can turn up your Hunky Chunky. Now, mind you, wouldn't you know it, the Check of Legends is a donkey check.
But wait, there's a second part to this that we have not pointed out yet.
Maybe it's on this blast course, though, and we're saved? Are we saved? Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
It's a problem.
Could it be on the metal that Mike is going towards? Oh, no, Keiper already has the metal. It's not that. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I mean, we still need to find the second slam if that's the case.
It's Check of Legends! It has to be Check of Legends.
It's gotta be, right?
There's no other donkey check. We've seen the Thornvine Barn, or no, we need... It's at least 2 slams. It could be the Thornvine Barn, but that's also a second slam.
Yeah, either way, Keiper is now realizing that this is a race.
But we've run out of main Isles checks. It has to be the Summit Barrel, right? That's the last main Isle check. So Keiper's basically just running right at the slam right now, so he's actually not that scared. It's inconvenient, right? It's what we were talking about before, where you're like, okay, we're 1 move away. We need... we're looking for grab. Okay, no, now we need Hunky. And we're looking for Hunky. Okay, no, now we need Slam. Okay, we're looking for Slam. Now we need to do the top of the mushroom barrel with this sniper minigame. That's just
for anyone who's curious, this is what it's like to either have a caffeine overdose or ADHD. That is just that sort of like crazy line of thinking how we get all around.
Or play old school RuneScape. That's my metaphor.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another way of describing it. Just absolute gibberish at some point with all these lines.
You'd be like that. You'd be like that. Alright. So now we untangle the paths. They're actually both running towards the slam right now. This is actually crazy. Did Mike get the force medal? Surely he got it.
I think that he... Are you able to do this without the last slam?
The force medal?
Oh yeah, mushroom interior. Yeah, you're right.
There's tons of stuff available.
I think he took a pause on that when he realizes that he needed the second slam for a bunch more stuff.
Man, this grab sucks. This is pretty rough.
It is brutal to say the least.
Alright, so is it on the Check of Legends? Please, 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 please. Oh, the Nintendo
that's even worse.
That's a good bit. That's a good bit.
Oh, man. Oh, goodness.
Nah, you just go to the Thornvine Barn, you'll be alright, but...
That was just the letdown that we just all collectively experienced on that.
That was a good commit to a bit. Because it could have been that Mike had to do both Check of Legends, which would have been very funny. Alas. Oh no. Oh my god, at the last second Mike makes it. Holy smokes. He barely sniped that last guy in the last second. Holy smokes, he is living on the edge. Why, Keiper has Strong Kong, but just doesn't care. He's just slamming the switch on his own. He endures the pain. What a beast. Right, now mind you, the crypt is only 3 GBs, so it's not too much more once they have grab in their pocket. But, oh my god. Keiper, what are you doing? You do not need the bean! Oh, we need that! Pick that up right now.
Get it, get it? Okay, good. If he had abandoned that, then I think we would have had to have disqualified him.
Oh my god, I forgot the bean was in the mills.
Yeah.
Alright, good man, good man.
Absolute lad.
Oh, at the 11th hour. Alright, who skipped that bean? I know some of you asynced, you're in chat. Fess up. Who skipped it? Cam? Unbelievable. I mean, you probably just, like, didn't get super duper or something. I'm trying to think of, like, what rows might have been better to do instead.
I don't think there was...
Not row 5, because grab is horrendous. Like, I guess if this is your awful check, then, like, row 5 is just kind of what you had to deal with. Maybe you could have, like, sussed it out faster. I don't hate row 4 now that I look at it. Rocket Barrel's pretty easy. Rocket Barrel's easier than I think. Or easier than you think.
It's still the 400 colored bananas, I think, is... I think reaction to it is the same that most people are going to have to it, which is, ugh, not that.
It definitely is kind of an, not that, but I really don't think it's that bad. If that's your worst check, if you did, like, bottom left, top right, and then row 4, you're kind of cruising, I think. And you can, like, basically pick whatever level you want to do 400 in. Maybe Japes isn't that bad. You're going to have all the guns already because you were doing the Force Lobby Battle Crown. Maybe Gorilla
Japes
guns.
is definitely a very straightforward level to do if you're going after that.
Maybe. There's a lot of density in CBs and Japes.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't memorized all of the locations of every colored banana, like, that's my gut reaction to it, but taking a minute to think about it, it's...
Rippy's personal nightmare.
Yeah, exactly, right? I play shuffled. I don't play with, like, normal people settings.
The bananas are everywhere, man! Oh!
Where, man? Game over!
Mike misses the bean. He's gonna be devastated. That's devastating. Unbelievable. Oof. There is grab in the middle of nowhere. My god. Alright. Time to race into the crypt. Keiper's got a bit of a lead on Mike here. He's got a few minutes on him. Maybe like a minute or two. This is tight between them. They're jockeying for position here.
For when we originally were thinking, like, I don't know about you, Larak, but I was thinking Keiper was like 10 minutes ahead at one point, and now they're assuming that everything goes well. They're going to be finishing within about 3 or 4 minutes of each other. This became a lot more exciting very quickly.
I think he was ahead. It's just that for your Gorilla Gun check, doing the Forest Lobby crown is just better than beating Helm. And then exchange your tiny metals, and the mech fish isn't that bad. On God, that's the agenda. The mech fish is not that bad. That's the whole agenda, people. That's the whole agenda is just that the mech fish is not that bad. I promise.
The pivot that MikeChamp made to go for bottom left, top right was completely brilliant. I personally would have just been laser focused on the stuff that I committed to earlier and would have just discarded everything else.
Right, it makes sense. It's a very reasonable commit that Keiper made. It's just that Mike just was like, wait a minute, this row is like almost the same, but better. I need all the guns anyway. Or I have all the guns anyway.
I accidentally got here. I can just do this instead.
It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Alright, so check 1. Pineapple plus punch in the chunky crypt. Pretty awful. 2 moves is kind of rocky. Oh boy, people are finishing now. Hold on to your butts. We got some, we got times coming in. So far, 4 people are done. Keiper is trying to be number 5 right now. Trying to make it in the top 5. That secures you a pretty solid seeding, even with 6 asyncs, and asyncs from pretty good people. And here we go. He's got to do check number 2. Diddy Crypt, peanut plus charge. It's just a simple counting game. We're good at counting to 16, so what's just counting to 4? It's just that easy.
Etiquette says that he did. He was originally going to do top left, bottom right, which I don't hate.
I kind of hate it. R&D is kind of bad, but I mean, we found all the moves, so...
Yeah, that I think is kind of the game. It's like, it's Kaiju is going to be the real time killer there.
Hunky is bad. Try and dodge Hunky as best you can. And then, sure enough, grab locked Hunky. All right, and now the last check, coconut plus grab for the minecart. This was the source of grief, so we could pull 3 levers. Unbelievable. Now,
so Keiper is doing his best to make these last couple of minutes interesting.
To be fair, that claptrap is like the worst thing that could possibly spawn in here. So
pretty much.
I get it. And mind you, it's an auto scroller through DK minecart. So as soon as Keiper enters, he's basically done. All he gets to do is watch the race time and watch other people finish. Tried and true tradition of DK64 randomizer. Oh well, Mike is going to do the minecart first. He still has to do Diddy charge. There we go. Keiper did column 3 instead of bottom left top right. Mike did bottom left top right. And I think bottom left top right is a little bit better. Not that much better, but it's definitely better than column 3, that's for sure. But if you're going to do row 5, column 3 is pretty comparable, I think. Beating Helm is like a little slow, which is why I think bottom left top right is a little bit better of those. Even though there's like an extra goal. The shared force donkey middle. No. Your shared goal between your 2 choices is the llama temple checks, which is a lot of stuff, there's time investment, but not that hard. It kind of worked out.
I think as more people are starting to get into playing bingo, especially during this qual, they're going to get a lot better at calling audibles and what they were doing, seeing how the way that the moves lined up.
Like I'm trying to like dig through, like looking at other options, like what might be fine here. I mean, having found everything, it's so hard to say. What did you find early versus what could you have found early is just a whole other can of worms. Keiper's still on pace for 5th. He's almost there.
Like, row 3 isn't terrible, but only because we ended up accidentally finding all the crowns. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that crown casinos aren't real, then that would have been a terrible row.
And there you go. That is time for KeiperDontCare. He takes 5th place with a time of 1:32.12. 5th place in qualifier, the live qualifier. There's a whole bunch of asyncs floating around. The final times will be to be determined. Mike is just finishing up now. He finishes up the minecart. All he's got to go do is Diddy Crypt, and he's out of here.
So that means our runners are going to be finishing within 2 minutes of each other, which is phenomenal, all things considered.
I mean, that's crazy in the scheme of bingo, right? How volatile things are. However, our winners today, they figured something out. So 4th place is Portal with a 1:28.37, finished just about as Keiper was entering the crypt. Spike takes 3rd with a 1:25.31, and then we hit the turbo boosters, where Barry gets a 1:16.12. Care to tell us what Rosie did, Chief? And our winner today is Mr. Etiquette himself with a 1:13.53. That is bonkers quick. Here we go. Here comes Mike's finish time. What is he ending up at? He, bang, finishes up. Takes 6th place, 1:33.29.
Yeah, within 75 seconds. 75 seconds? Within 80 seconds of each other. That's nuts.
There you go. That really is. That is kind of nuts. Right. Barry, column 1, bottom left, top right. Column 1 truthers are out here. That was Barry, column 1.
God.
Hey, how you doing? You just like jumped in and I didn't get a mute in time. Hello.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Everyone caught a brief echo of me. That's very cool. I mean, hey, I like listening to myself too, so that's fine. All good.
Yeah, that's why I'm a commentator.
I think Keiper is ready to get... Oh, he disappeared.
We'll go hunt him down.
He was there for a second in the lanky chat, but...
Column 1 is a fact. Anyway, so while we're doing that, hey, Mike, how do you feel about the end, how that race all panned out?
It could have gone a lot better. I failed the rabbit beetle race like twice, and that was very frustrating.
Oh,
I tried to go do crypt, forgetting I needed grab still. Yeah,
seeing that was
that was a big kick in the teeth.
That grab was pretty bad. And we were joined by Keiper.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Chief?
Howdy.
Howdy do with pound the X.
Man, dude.
Yeah.
What
Wait,
a-
Keiper, which two did you get done at the end?
I have column 3 and row 5. So, fun fact, I figured out very quickly that I wanted to do row 5 and row 3. Because, like, obviously, row 5 is, like, super giga awesome, right? Because you have a rank stand sprint with Beetle Race, right?
And crypt checks.
Right, and Crypt's like pretty fine.
So the crypt,
under normal circumstances.
So Mike, to be clear, the crypt is just the donkey ditty chunky.
Oh, you don't have to do the mausoleum stuff?
The mausoleum is something else, yeah.
Damn, I did all that stuff for no reason.
Well, it happens.
I did the lanky mausoleum just because I was looking for
Vision for Rocket Barrel makes it worth your time anyway, but yeah.
Yeah,
I got lucky and was doing castle surrounding stuff, so I was able to get enough small bananas for Lanky's medal when I got down there. I was like, oh, cool, Rocket Barrel.
I was a little scared of that Rocket Barrel because we had seen where Balloon was. Balloon being grab locked and super duper locked. It was like, oh no, that if it's on Lanky Tower, if the Rocket Barrel's on Lanky Tower, it's a disaster.
Yeah, I just found homing, so I was like, okay, if I don't find it on the metal or something, I can just peek it, and then I got it off the metal. So
yeah,
I crossed that bridge.
Yeah, I literally did the same thing. I got the metal from inside the greenhouse, and when I saw homing, I'm like, well, if the metal isn't Rocket Barrel, I'm just gonna do the tower with homing, like. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But no, the worst element of this is like. I figure out what I want to do very quickly. This path to get grab and hunky is so bad.
Oh yeah, last location both slams.
It's so bad. I didn't last location the slams. I just knew where they had to be. So it was like, you know.
I did every chunky check in Galleon. Didn't have pineapple to do the last one. Floundered the cannon game twice. Did every main aisles check. Figured where it had to be. Found out I'd need freaking red slam. Went in, played my trombone, did the summit barrel.
Man, my man Etiquette out here fighting 3 bosses.
He did 3 bosses?
Boss Truthers up good. I picked out column 1 early is not terrible, and I feel so vindicated. Etiquette, you are my hero. Fast. I almost blind picked that, and I was like, "It's might be not that bad. If you go to Galleon early, you might find that you find barrels and spring, and life is great." And would you look at that? Would you look at that?
That's definitely a real easy one. If I'd struggled with, what was it, grab, I probably would have pivoted to that. Because I did bottom left, top right, diagonal.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a lot of that stuff.
Bottom left, top right.
Other stuff.
Bottom left, top right, and column 3 are actually very similar. Where Gorilla Gone is a pretty ugly, is probably the ugliest of those, besides grab, obviously, in column 3. But you're already committing to column 3 by doing row 5, so it's kind of fine. I think I like bottom left, top right a little more than column 3. I think it's like the lobby check of legends versus turning off helm. I think the crown is better.
Probably. It's the Megfish, isn't it?
The Megfish is the Megfish is fine. The Megfish is fine. Let me be clear. The Megfish is no worse than either of those medals. I said it.
Oh yeah.
But I see why having peanuts and then having feather makes it very appealing to do column 3 pretty quickly. And
I almost didn't even realize that. Like, I got peanut guns, and then I was like, oh wait, column 3 is like kind of spicy.
Yeah.
Two rooms
of helm with like no GB requirements is very reasonable. Helm is like
it is. It is, yeah. I'll give this away. Again, we're waiting on like async times to come in. I will announce this that if you are racing me and there is a key goal that is bigger than 3, I ain't doing it. So
that's me with the GB goals. I've avoided those like the plague.
I am not fighting bosses, dude. You're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming to fight more than 2 bosses.
What's really, really funny is that between the 2 of you, in the first like 20 minutes, we'd seen 6 crowns, and I was like,
"Ow."
Oh, really?
We'd seen a ton of crowns, at least 5. And I'm like, well, nobody's writing them down, so nobody's doing that row.
I knew the one in production was there, so I could have gone back for that, but I don't remember where the other 2 that I would have needed were.
I think it was one of those things where you just both looked at those checks like independently and across such different times that you would have never. Keiper, the chat was basically making jokes that there's no universe you would have written down where those crown locations were.
There's no way.
And it's like by the end of the time, by like the end of the stream, you would have never you would have had all of them, but it's just a matter of would you have written everything down.
I'd never expected anyone to do it.
I may have. Apparently, I looked right at one in the Castle Funky shop and didn't notice.
Yeah,
you did, yes.
Yeah, apparently, but then that would have only put me at 4.
There's one in the cage shops, I think.
There's one in cage. See, that's the thing, man. Is like, I really do think that like row 3, row 5 is fine with just outside of this like terrible path for Gorilla Grab, right?
I think bottom left, top right is probably better than row 5, but the O-stand Beetle Race is like such a tempting pairing. The problem is the grab just tears you down. If you could have pinned down grab on Pound the X sooner, maybe you could have gotten away from it, but it was really awkward to properly do that. Chunky checks and aisles are like all over the place.
I will say, I felt like an absolute god when I got my 4th Banana Fairy on the Cave's Tiny Metal. I was like, dude, this is peak. This is what I want. You know, this is exactly how things route together, but then it obviously just didn't matter.
Well, yeah, the problem as I saw is that there was no hints pointed you at BFI, so it was like you can just like get that as like your last check, like whatever, you exit the aisles, warp the 5, pick it up whenever you want. So like you don't need to get fairies in any given moment. You just will accumulate them naturally.
Right. I honestly like I find myself. We talked about like what goals we avoid, but like I am definitely one of those like. If the Banana Fairy reward lands in a spot where I'm even like somewhat tempted to go for that row or column or diagonal, I usually just like assume I'm gonna do it because just stumbling across 4 Banana Fairies is so ridiculously easy, and like Mini Monkey's such a high priority move that you're probably gonna end up getting it anyway, regardless of what route you do.
Well, what's funny is that you got Mini Monkey pretty early, and it like propelled you pretty far ahead. And Mike had to like double back eventually to get back to factory Chunky Metal because he was thinking. I think Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were looking for a slam to try and check.
I was
more
thinking
chunky
it was
checks.
probably slam block.
Yeah. Nope, it was on the one thing that you could just do, which is tragic.
Yeah, that was a kick in the teeth near the end when I realized, oh, it's just the metal, isn't it? And then it showed up, and I was like. Dang, I could have had this an hour ago.
It's a kick in the teeth and then a sucker punch in the teeth when you realize you need both the slams anyway later.
Yep. Hey, by that point, I'd already pinned down the slam location, so it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, great. Yeah, the small mercies. Yeah,
I
didn't
do
have to do
say
summit barrel at the end. I didn't realize that until you guys were running straight at it. I was like, oh, wait. Hang on.
There was a moment that both of you did on stream independently, I think maybe an hour apart from each other, where you went into Mill and you saw, oh, we have a blue potion inside of the Gorilla Grab cage. Let's just go ahead and slam the mystery box. And you're like, oh, it's red. Gotta go.
Oh, no, I was in there for donkey-colored bananas.
Oh,
I didn't care about the reward. There's 5 in there.
Enough.
That's 5 more that I don't have to grab somewhere else.
Rippy, these are gamers that know their vanilla-colored banana locations. You gotta respect that.
Yeah,
you gotta respect these gamers. They're out here. They know every single one of the 100 donkey CBs in Forest. Off the dome.
We were talking in commentary about some of the checks that we wouldn't do. 400 colored bananas in one level. I had said that was one of the things that immediately turned me off from like doing column 5 and row 4. It was specifically because I don't play with vanilla colored bananas. So it's like 500 locations memorized is just not going to happen for me.
So what's funny about the Forest being level 7 again is I actually had a bingo seed where I did 400 colored bananas in Forest.
Oh,
and
boy.
fun fact, if you don't have, like, let's say in this case, like you know, it's level 7 and you need a red slam, you have access to exactly 415.
Really? Wow.
It's like it's either 410 or 415. It is like insanely tight. And you can get like a couple. You can get a couple of them like cheaty, like if you go into like Diddy rafters and you like traverse the rafters in the dark, without guitar. But like if you don't have like the means to get up in there, or you don't have the red slam, because like you got to think like, all right, how many are in the Donkey Barn? How many are in the Diddy attic? How many are in Lanky attic? The rooms at the top of the mushroom for Lanky, the room at the top of the mushroom for Chunky. Like,
it sneaks up on you. It really does.
Yeah, it like you add up those like little 5 and 10 packs. It's like, oh my god, I can't get like 80 colored bananas in this level.
400 CBs. Let's just run on down to Japes and forget about life for a while. Life
is good. Japes, Factory. Even like if you have diving, like. And enough like instruments, do Galleons like not that bad?
Ooh,
I don't think.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of in and outs on Galleon. I feel like Japes is just smaller and goes faster.
If you have money, then maybe, but
tough call.
But yeah, I agree. The early stuff, you go to Japes, you go to Factory if they're not super slam locked. Grab a bunch of GBs, get all your hints, and then work your way down.
Hearing some other tell of like column 1, column 3 is a possibility. That's kind of spicy. That seems like the worst of all worlds.
All 3 mine cards with Grab's location? Woo.
I almost did it. That was what I was. Well, I was originally going to do row 3, but like I was looking at because I mean one of them is literally free. Like like one of them you could just do with nothing.
One of them's
right?
free. One of them has sniper scope, and one of them's in the crypt.
Yeah, that's actually kind of really funny.
Hearing tell of row 2 in top left, bottom right as well. That's a spicy one. Throw in your bosses and go get your gorilla gun. And
but then you still need Hunky Chunky for R&D.
Oh boy.
Hunky and Grab. If you can route this to where you don't need either of them, I feel like you're probably in good shape. The problem is like there are just so many landmines because of where those two moves land and like what goals they're locking on the board.
That's the funny thing about Bingo is it's all about avoiding landmines.
Ooh, I definitely stepped on quite a few this seat, that's for sure.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Here's the beats.
Well, GG. I mean, I know we're waiting for more people to finish. I'm looking forward to what the bracket looks like, though.
We will have a
I
bracket.
think Sarah's got a preliminary look. If everyone joins in the race spoiler chat.
No. We'll see.
Oh, that's already a thing?
Roughly. If everyone in the bracket agrees to join, then we might have it. But
okay, here, let me see.
Are you kidding me? That's some fast times. Sheesh.
Oh yeah.
I guess we have been yapping. Actually, we've been yapping for a while. That might just be us yapping. That might be it.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Cam with a 69.32.
A top time of
What
a 109.
Holy
69
smokes.
minutes. Nice.
I mean,
Oh
nice
my
for him,
God.
but god damn.
Whew, he's too good.
Has a
Can't
has
keep
a
getting away with it.
one speedy boy. Unbelievable. But we'll have some more blitz action for you, whether it be matches in the tourney or the finals or something. We'll get some more action on your way. And if you were like, wow, this blitz format is kind of crazy. What else do they have cooking in the community? You gotta come on down to discord.dk64randomizer.com and say hey to everybody and be like, give everyone a good old morning, as one does. And you get to see all the latest goodness going on here. Or, you know, cut out the middleman, just run on down to DK64randomizer.com and Geneseed for yourself. Bingo is a preset on the site. You can grab Bingo, grab a card, and just kind of roam. Enjoy.
Absolutely, and there are many presets, a very active community. If you have any questions, people will be more than glad to answer. And let's go ahead and do our last minute plugs. Mike, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/MikeChamp97. I play Donk a lot.
Perfect. Keiper?
You could probably find me somewhere in the United States of America.
All right, I would hope so.
Probably where there's coffee and maybe some peanut butter that I can eat.
American
and
football
on
while we're at it.
Yeah. And also at twitch.tv/KeiperDontCare.
Larak?
Wow, you're feeling lucky. You can check me out.
If you're feeling lucky.
You can check me out at twitch.tv/Larak. You might find me. I don't know. Next stream, I don't know. That's the classic.
No.
I don't know.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/Mr. Rippy, or really, I spend most of my time doing commentary here now at twitch.tv/DK64 Speedruns.
We got all these links and more down in the description of the YouTube video. Shout out to our YouTube people. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell. You know the drill. Let's go. But that will just about wrap it up for us today. So where can we ship y'all off to? I see some gamers that are continuing on. A gamer with a pretty solid time has carried on to move on with some good old-fashioned Kevin. A completely different community-made format.